When we think about the cyber threat landscape in 2022, some of the key trends that we've seen is destructive and wiper malware. We've seen a huge increase in attacks in critical infrastructure, particularly in SCADA, industrial control systems. We've seen a huge increase when it comes to social engineering and how attackers are really evolving some of those tactics and techniques. So as we go into 2023, we can really see more of the same when it comes to that destructive element, particularly with some of the bigger attackers, nation state actors, all of these things coming together. But we've really got to be cognizant specifically around the rise in social engineering and how attackers are manipulating people, particularly about taking action. When we think about some of the tactics that the attackers are utilising, we think about social engineering in particular and how they're manipulating people to take action. Now, when we think about the type of technologies that we're utilising these days, the attackers are learning our defences, they're learning the type of technology, the type of things that we do. And so why would I waste my time trying to break into your network when I can go directly to source, and that is the people. So really, companies need to be very mindful about social engineering techniques, and in particular how they can manipulate people to take action, and that can include an MFA bypass, getting a user to willingly give up their credentials, or even load software into the background. So that's really key that companies are cognizant about how these changes in tactics are going to manifest themselves. So some of the things that Microsoft recommend when we think about the evolving threat landscape is identity is absolutely core to everything. It's one of the most common attack vectors. And I think about the strategy is actually really simple. It's protect the access in and the exit out. So it's all access. So that's identity of people, identity of devices, any which way into the company. When we think about the exit out, it's really understanding the data, where that data is, who's got access to it, all of the different controls, how it can be exfiltrated. But we also need to make sure that we are training people in particular when it comes to social engineering, why and how they could be manipulated and how they can protect themselves. Some of the ways in which organisations need to evolve their ways of thinking is to think about some paradigm shifts. So one of those is really core, is around zero trust. Now, zero trust really sounds like a bit of a buzzword, but what's really core is identity. And it's a principle of least privilege and assume compromise, no matter where that is in the network. Second key area is around digital empathy, and that's really about understanding people, how they're utilising technology, how they're utilising infrastructure. Now, we might do that 30 minutes of e-learning once a year, but that doesn't really help people to be secure because of the rate of change of attacks and the ferocity of changes that we're seeing as well. So actually we need the technology to be a safety net. So we need to assume that people are going to click links, they're going to make mistakes, they're going to do all of these things. So the technology needs to assume that compromise and needs to be there to mitigate all of those threats as they happen in real time.